Part 131. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1304. Remember in 1 second to provide you with wonderful novels to read. The stellar battlefield, with a radius of several hundred light-years, is so vast that it can be described as boundless. There is only one reason for the possibility of encountering two stars in two galaxies at a certain place. That is, around these two galaxies, there are things needed at the star level. This is the so-called stellar resource. The Helong galaxy is a galaxy adjacent to white stars. The creatures in the galaxy are extremely hostile to the white galaxy creatures. Because both sides originally had star-level overlords sitting on each other's side, even though the Helong of the Helong galaxy was a little weaker than the white star overlord white, the two sides were generally in a situation where neither could tolerate the other. This white star is so mad that he wants us to surrender because our Lord Helong died on their white star? This is simply nonsense. Yes, the people on the white star are indeed extremely cunning, and they can even use this method. I just don't know whether this strategy came from the hands of lower-level officials, or whether it was thought up by the white star himself. But if he wanted to do it himself, I won't be surprised if he comes out, "It's just a stupid bear." That's right. It's just a stupid bear. There are similar creatures like him on our planet. I used to love eating bear paws the most. In the starry sky material belts composed of fine dust are floating over a wide range in this galaxy. This is what most people call a comet. Comets are common astronomical phenomena in the universe, and no one pays much attention to them. However, although they are small in mass and rarely produce any unique minerals, the sight that they can sometimes cover the entire starry sky is still attractive. Caught the attention of many people. The Helong galaxy is such a galaxy with a huge comet belt. There are so many comets in it that you can see comets streaking across the sky every day. It is precisely this kind of scenery that makes the creatures in the Helong galaxy pride themselves on being the galaxy with the most beautiful scenery around them, and look down upon other galaxies. I have already sent the document refusing to surrender, but this matter should not be taken lightly. Didn't Lord Helong say that he went out to secretly meet stellar friends? Without him here now, it would be very troublesome if the white galaxy attacks. Now from now on, our galaxy will enter a state of emergency. Several semi-star level executives, after discussing some military and political issues, handled the white star's persuasion to surrender. They couldn't help but deal with it this way. After all, the two major galaxies had been hostile for a long time, and all kinds of strategies and tricks had been used. The people of the Helong galaxy regarded the surrender letter as part of the conspiracy. By the way, we didn't handle the joint star letter from a distant galaxy last time. Shall we discuss it now? Lord Helong probably won't come back for a while. If we don't handle it, the other party will definitely think that we are arrogant. A half-star creature said this to several other colleagues. Well, let's deal with it together. Master Helong sent news back a few days ago, but now there is no news in the past few days. Alas, if I hadn't known that he wouldn't have come to the white star, I might as well have returned. I really believed what that white star said, Be careful. 1.5 stars took out another document. The person who wants to join forces with us is a large organization, with a regional alliance controlled by 10.5 stars. If we don't treat it well, it might be a catastrophe. But we also have a star-level powerhouse here, so don't be too nervous. Now a reply to the letter. We agree to most of their conditions. If it doesn't work, just reject their cooperation. Several half-stars processed the joint documents again. But what they didn't know was that when they sent the letter refusing to surrender to the white star, a figure was already flying towards the Helong galaxy from the white star. In this Helong galaxy, you can't even shed tears without seeing a coffin. Don't you believe that Helong is dead? Well, I'll go there in person. Anyway, the Aditya will enter the training dock in a few days. It's almost time for me to return. I think we can repair most of it. Jia Yan thought indifferently, and his body kept moving in the subspace. These days, his strength has improved a lot after repeated battles with strong men. Especially in terms of his understanding of the domain, after fighting against so many star-level players, he started to understand by analogy and slowly understood the true meaning. He already had the prototype of the domain, and now he was just one step away from fully comprehending it. And out. But on the way here, I can try to repair my body. Otherwise, the injuries will not heal for so long, and my combat effectiveness will also be limited. The injuries on Jia Yan's body still exist, and most of them are still from the Stellar Academy. Of course, with his evolved beast's physique, these injuries have been much better, but after all, they are injuries caused by the Stellar class. For him, it will take some time to fully repair. Now that there is a source of energy, he simply uses external force to repair it, otherwise the injury may affect the progress of his strength improvement and the level of strength he can use. This is also a kind of harm to him. Let's see if this thing is useful. Jia Yan took out a small bottle of liquid-like substance hidden under his wing membrane. It turns out that this is one of the ghost blood that Jia Yan snatched. Jia Yan originally thought that there would be more of this kind of ghost blood on the White Planet, but he didn't expect that when he went to the White Planet and inquired about it, he found out that ordinary ghost blood was not effective against the former overlord of the White Planet, Bye. In terms of species, it is also a very useful thing. Every time he gains something, he will use it as soon as possible. There was nothing he could do. Jia Yan only had the ghost blood he snatched from outside the garrison star. However, there is a unique way for white people to obtain it, and there will still be opportunities to obtain more ghost blood in the future. Puff. Jia Yan gently popped the transparent liquid in the bottle, revealing a trace of strange liquid, and then sucked it up with his mouth parts, sucking it into his mouth. Suddenly, a burst of pleasure invaded Jia Yan's whole body. It's such a gentle power, and it really has the effect of improving and repairing my body. No wonder even ordinary stars can use it. Jia Yan's eyes suddenly lit up. As an evolved beast, he actually generally uses high-energy substances. Other creatures of the same level, even star-level creatures, are unlikely to absorb the energy for their own use like him. But this ghost blood is different. It can be used not only by Jia Yan, but also by ordinary star-level people. No wonder so many star-level people want it. But to me, this ghost blood is a bit too mild. It seems that being able to transform into animals is not all a benefit. At least in terms of the use of this energy, it has more endurance than other creatures, but the effect is not good. Jia Yan shook his head helplessly, but he had no idea of giving up using it. After all, it was one of the few star-level improvement items he knew now, even if its effect on Jia Yan was not as powerful as other star-level items. There is no way he would give up using it. If it's not enough, then make up for it with quantity. It doesn't matter even if you use up everything you grabbed. Jia Yan's eyes were bright, and he felt confident as he looked at the several bottles of ghost blood under his wing membrane. Jia Yan used his body's speed to fly quickly from subspace to the Helong galaxy. In fact, flying like this is a bit silly, because flying with the body instead of sitting on a good battleship is simply a waste of time and energy. And no matter how close the two galaxies are, at the speed of living things, even stellar-level experts are unlikely to fly there quickly. Of course, Jia Yan was not really stupid. If the Edissa was available, he would still choose to take it. But now that there is no Edissa, he thought about it and decided that he could still fly by himself. The fastest battleships of the White Star are not very fast, and there are even fewer that can accommodate him. More importantly, Jia Yan wanted to test his flying ability and whether he could actually navigate the galaxy. Over the years, I have fought in all directions, flying deeper and deeper into subspace. Although it has not yet reached the depth when the Edessa was ejected, it has reached about 10 degrees. When flying here, it has exceeded the speed of light compared to normal space. Even more than that, you can test it now to see how fast my body can fly. Jia Yan was flying at a depth of about 9 degrees in subspace at this time. Compared with the previous 6 or 7 degrees, it was as different as heaven and earth. This is why he believed that he could reach the Helong galaxy no slower than ordinary curvature battleships. Jia Yan's speed can be described as lightning fast. But in the Helong galaxy, another small team was also very fast. Even before he arrived, they had already arrived at the Helong galaxy. What? The people from the Zitong Alliance have already arrived. And among these people, there is also a star level. This, what should we do? I didn't expect that the existence of the Zitong Alliance would come so quickly, and also send a powerful star-level man. Our Lord Helong is not here. How can we delay it? Facing the stellar level, we have no way at all. By the way, I have a way. Suddenly, a half-star high-level executive in the Helong galaxy came up with a plan with bright eyes. What Jia Yan didn't know was that after he had been flying for a whole month and was about to arrive at the Helong galaxy, which was 3 light-years away from the White Galaxy, something strange suddenly appeared at the destination of the Helong galaxy. A huge battleship with a length of 40 kilometers docked at the largest central starport in the Helong galaxy. In this giant battleship, there was even a wave of terrifying momentum surging. The creatures of the Helong galaxy that dared to approach were so frightened by this force that they could hardly move. This is the power of a star. This envoy of the Zitong Alliance, it's really not that our Helong galaxy is unwilling to ally with you, but that our Helong galaxy is currently being threatened by the White Galaxy not far away. There is really no reason. I'm really sorry to enter into an alliance with you when the outside world is unstable. Huh? Are you a white star? Inside the huge battleship, a voice of surprise and uncertainty sounded faintly. Mobile phone users, please browse and read for a better reading experience. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1305. Remember in 1 second to provide you with wonderful novels to read. White Galaxy. The 5th satellite has been very unstable recently. It was only because of the sudden change in power and interests caused by the appearance of the assassin that there was no peace. There was also a certain reason that a student from the 5th Star University had caused great injustice to this planet. Jia Yan, just tell me, what do you want from me? An extremely unwilling voice echoed in the 5th Star University campus. Following the sound, the students who heard it all turned their eyes. The one who made the sound was a beautiful girl who looked extremely beautiful. The definition of beauty and ugliness for creatures in this universe is actually very simple. In the alien world where species merge, as long as it meets the golden cutting point, creatures of different races can appreciate it. So even though the girl who looks like an earthling but has long pointed ears is very different from other creatures in appearance, it does not prevent other creatures from treating her as a beautiful woman. Of course, in the eyes of people on Earth, this girl who looks like an elf is definitely a peerless beauty. Her beautiful face, coupled with her unwilling but stubborn eyes at this moment, gave her a different kind of appeal. However, all the creatures followed the girl's figure and looked in front of her. Their eyes shrank one after another, and none of them dared to speak. Because in front of this girl from the elf race, there was walking a creature that seemed similar to the girl's race. He has black hair, and his figure is vaguely walking in the sun, making it difficult for people to see clearly, as if he is always walking in the shadows. But now the owner of this figure seems to be feeling a little helpless. He is Jia Yan's clone. Hey, Miss Fuya, I didn't say what I wanted from you, right? Just stay away from me. Jia Yan sighed helplessly. If he had known that the challenge that day would lead to such a result, he would not have fought that Furbolg. Of course, there was no miracle in the challenge a month ago. The Firbolg, a distant white relative who was trying to help the elves behind him, was slapped to death by Jia Yan. But what happened next was beyond Jia Yan's expectation, because the opponent's backstage was very tough, and as a result, a series of prefecture-level figures came to challenge him. Because they did not dare to make a big fuss when the new assassin overlord just took office, the Firbolg family only dared to invite or send out Earth-level powerful creatures for revenge. Of course, the result is that many come and go, and Jia Yan's reputation has become so popular on this 5th star that some people even gave him a nickname, that is, invincible at the Earth level. Even half a month later, the family that took action suddenly disappeared overnight. The entire family, no matter what relationship they had with the white race, completely disappeared under the hands of a certain force. Of course, what no one knows is that the creature that took action that night appeared in front of Jia Yan's clone that night. It was a semi-star level creature led by several sub-level creatures. They didn't know where they learned Jia Yan's identity. After doing this on their own initiative, they ran to Jia Yan's clone to claim credit. Jia Yan naturally gave some verbal rewards without any pain, allowing you guys to leave happily. But since then, strange rumors seem to have appeared throughout the 5th satellite. As for the students, big and small, as long as they had some background connection, they were all given a vague verbal warning by their family or power, saying that they must not offend a new student named Jia Yan for tens of millions of dollars. Therefore, Jia Yan instantly became a person with a transcendent status even though his identity was not disclosed in the 5th star. Of course, not many people actually know his true identity. Most families just know that Jia Yan seems to have a great background, and they certainly don't want to cause any more trouble. And the elf girl Fui behind Jia Yan, the heroine who caused a lot of trouble, was also secretly lectured by her family. But she misunderstood, thinking that Jia Yan wanted to take revenge on her family, and then the scene happened in front of her. She ran to Jia Yan in person and pestered him endlessly. "Tell me, what do you want? Do you want me to serve you and sleep with you? You are such a bastard." The elf girl's cheeks almost instantly turned red, and then she looked at the shameless scoundrel, staring at Jia Yan with disgust. Jia Yan sighed again, then turned his head. "Miss, have I told you what I want to do with you? Well, don't pester me. I have something else to do, so get as far away as you can from me." I have to say that the elf girl in front of me is very beautiful. Even Jia Yan has never seen a few humanoid creatures as beautiful as her. But this does not mean that Jia Yan will fall in love with each other. There is a Satsuma niche in his home, and he even has some unclear entanglements with Kama, the Empress of Taya Kingdom, and Daifuni, a cyborg woman on Earth. Which of these is not more beautiful than the elf girl in front of me? You want me to get out? No, you will definitely use your connections to cause problems in my family. Tell me, what do you want me to do? When the elf girl saw Jia Yan telling her to get lost, she was about to lose her temper almost instantly. However, she remembered that the seniors in the family had told her that Jia Yan might have an extremely terrifying background behind her, so she suppressed her anger. Jia Yan's face turned dark. Looking at the person in front of him, he had really been an eldest lady for so long that his head was spinning. He stopped talking to her and walked forward. Now Jia Yan has no idea of retaliating against the other party. He killed several challengers before because they challenged the majesty of a stellar powerhouse. If the eldest lady behind him continues to do this, then Jia Yan will not mind really as she wished. Her family was wiped out. This is almost a piece of cake for him now. Stop for me. Boom. Seeing that Jia Yan was ignoring her and about to leave, the elf girl quickly followed. But suddenly, a shocking momentum erupted in front of her. Puff. The eldest lady of the elf clan was hit by this force without any resistance. She was instantly thrown away, with a mouthful of blood spurting out of her mouth. How? At this moment, the strong men on the entire fifth star were aware of this shocking force. Especially the most powerful men at the semi-star level were shocked and turned their sights to the fifth star. At university. However, after they saw the figures releasing their power one by one, they quickly averted their eyes without daring to look any further. It turns out it's this gentleman, so don't worry about it. Even if he destroys the entire fifth university, no. Even if he dismantles the fifth star, we don't dare to worry about it. The appearance of these semi-star powerhouses did not cause any abnormal action from Jia Yan. He was not attacking the elf girl at this time. After all, Jia Yan had not done anything yet. Any warning is the level of doing something to an ordinary creature. The reason for his burst of strength at this moment is not at all on the fifth satellite. What a hell-long galaxy! There are actually stellar-level experts. Jia Yan's eyes flashed, and then he kept walking and entered the subspace in an instant. When he reappeared, he was already in his dormitory. Trespassers shall die. The next moment, his voice resounded throughout the fifth star. Ordinary creatures don't know who made the sound, but creatures above the second level will certainly understand that it is the mysterious Jia Yan who has a huge backstage. They will restrain their subordinates and even kill Jia Yan. All creatures within a few hundred meters of the area where the rock is located are cleared, and no one dares to disturb him in the slightest. Humph, hell-long galaxy, I underestimate you. Jia Yan's clone sat cross-legged on the bed, then closed his eyes, gave up control of the clone, and focused all his attention on his real body. At the same time, sure enough, at the edge of the main star of the hell-long galaxy several light-years away, a terrifying star-level powerhouse was blocking Jia Yan's flight path. With the attack of this terrifying strong man, chaos suddenly appeared in the subspace. Jia Yan's entire mosquito body was twisted, and he almost fell into a little trouble. He couldn't help but quickly exit the subspace and stood face to face with the terrifying strong man. Hey, you're not injured. It seems like you have good strength. The terrifying and powerful man was an ape-like creature, with white hair all over his body, and he looked extremely majestic. Snored. After Jia Yan disconnected the spirit of the clone, his real body became more focused, and his expression became cold at this time. Your Majesty blocked my way for no reason. Why? Jia Yan was actually a little surprised, because his previous battles had already shown that in this large star field, there is almost no way for ordinary star-level creatures to deal with subspace creatures. Even if they can be restrained, they are relatively small. Scarcity is the right thing. The creature in front of him was standing in this universe. Even he, who was hiding in the ninth depth subspace, could detect it and use attacks to force him out. Zhizzy. I want to stop you, so I will stop you. If you are unhappy, you can beat me up. The huge monkey-like monster let out a weird laugh, and then stared at Jia Yan with its monkey eyes, as if expecting him to fight. This is a fighting maniac. When Jia Yan was glared at by this white monkey creature, he knew the other person's nature. In this universe, there are many kinds of strong people, and creatures like the one in front of you that like to fight also exist. But unfortunately, even if such creatures are not strong on the surface, in fact they have extremely rich combat experience, which can be said to be extremely troublesome. The star-level white monkey in front of him had reached star-level strength. If he had been fighting all the way, he would have accumulated a lot of combat experience. Jia Yan couldn't help but feel a slight headache. But first, he had to find out whether this guy was from the hell-long galaxy. If not, he didn't want to waste energy fighting this troublesome creature. Mobile phone users, please browse and read for a better reading experience. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1306. Remember in 1 second to provide you with wonderful novels to read. You don't look like a creature from the Helong Galaxy. If not, please stay out of your own business. Jia Yan spoke to him calmly. Squeak, I wanted to ask you if you came here to cause trouble, but it seems you are the one. What about the white guy? Could it be that you are him? The white monkey creature smiled strangely, as if it had found the wrong person. Jia Yan's heart suddenly became gloomy, and he knew that there was no way things could get better now. At the same time, he also understood that the other party was a supporter of the Helong Galaxy, and he was also warlike. In that case, I'll ask your excellency for your advice. Jia Yan shook his head. During this month's flight, he spent a lot of ghost blood and barely recovered his body, so he was not afraid of a battle. Moreover, the other party is belligerent, but isn't Jia Yan not belligerent? When it comes to the creatures he fought along the way, Jia Yan thinks he is as good as others. Of course, because he was promoted too quickly, his actual combat experience was of course inferior to that of a star with rich combat experience. But this doesn't make him afraid of fighting. 2-star level creatures want to fight. In many cases, they will only fight after a long period of planning and familiarity. But Jia Yan and the white monkey creature in front of him had only met for less than a few minutes, and without even knowing their names, they were about to start a fight. Hey, the star-level creature that came is not a white species. Why is it not a white species? Is there something wrong? Not far from the battlefield, countless surveillance cameras focused on the confrontation between the two stars. But below the lens, hundreds of high-level creatures from the Helong Galaxy felt extremely surprised. The battle between 2-star-level stars is an extremely terrifying thing. Sometimes it can cause permanent environmental changes in a starry sky. Moreover, although their battle cannot be said to directly cause a living planet to completely explode, it can easily cause it to explode. Let the life on the planet become extinct and the environment become no longer suitable for survival. Therefore, the creatures in the Helong Galaxy were unwilling to have 2-star level creatures fight not far from their main star. But now the arrow is on the string and I have to let go. Nor could they stop the stellar battle. But they just couldn't figure it out. They originally thought it would be a white race, but now it seems that it is a star-level creature that they have never seen before. Of the 2 stars who were about to fight, one was not the White Star Overlord, and the other was not the Hedra Galaxy Overlord, which made them both feel a little weird. Before they had any conversation about this matter, the 2-star level creatures over there had already disagreed and started a war. Jia Yan and the white monkey creature both approached each other instantly. Their eyes radiated with the desire to fight. White monkey did it because of his personality, while Jia Yan did it because his body was almost intact for the first time in a long time and he was able to test his own strength by fighting against a stellar powerhouse. Of course he was willing. In the starry sky, the two sides are approaching quickly. A bright flash of light caused most of the creatures in the Helong Galaxy observing the battle on the distant planet to lose their ability to see in an instant. My eyes. As expected of a stellar powerhouse, he took over immediately and created such a terrifying light. A group of creatures were stunned, some of them were even half-star experts, but now from such a distance, they couldn't even see clearly the fight between Jia Yan and the white monkey creature. In the first moment of the fight, neither side could tell the winner, and each flew far backwards. Jia Yan's eyes flashed with a strange light, while the white monkey laughed happily. It's great. It's been a long time since I fought with a human like this. You're fine, but you still have to die. The white monkey comes closer again. Jia Yan's eyes became even brighter at this moment. My strength does not lie in strength. At this time, my strength is not much weaker than this white monkey creature who is good at strength. It seems that after completing the training, my strength has improved beyond my own expectations. Jia Yan was surprised that he had regained his strength after the injury. Even he was shocked. But what he didn't know was that he was an evolved beast. After reaching the star level, he was called a terrifying existence by the star field on the other side of the genius battlefield as unstoppable after the star level. If such an existence doesn't even have the speed of improvement, wouldn't it be too vain? Roar, awesome. After another head-on confrontation with Jia Yan, the expression of the white monkey creature almost changed. Because he could tell that Jia Yan was probably still a creature that had just reached the early stage of star level. According to his observation, it seemed that even the realm was incomplete. Generally, such star classes are called babies by other star classes in the stellar battlefield. That is to say, many star classes can kill them, and they have no backhand power like babies. There are even some star-level experts in the battlefield who are specifically looking for such star-level hunters everywhere, and they can gain a lot without risking their lives. It can be said to be something that many people are willing to do. But such a creature could actually be as powerful as this white monkey creature. How could he not be surprised? I guess he is also a star-level expert in terms of strength, but wasn't the person who entered the subspace just now a talent? White Monkey was slightly surprised, but he had no intention of being timid. He clenched his fist and roared angrily. "Come again, this time I'll let you taste my territory." Following his movements, the entire starry sky instantly froze. And Jia Yan, who was not far from him, felt that his body could not move for a moment. What a terrifying field of power! Is this the strength possessed by a star-level powerhouse with rich combat experience? Jia Yan was suddenly shocked. He had seen a lot of domains, but this was the first time he saw a domain that could almost completely seal him after being released. It can be seen how tough this white monkey creature has polished its territory. If I had met you a month ago, I might have been helpless. But now. Jia Yan's eyes flashed, and then on his body, there was a faint black color, accompanied by a trace of unreal distortion, quietly appearing from under the opponent's power field. This black range is not large, but it can barely cover Jia Yan's body. Humph, you are indeed a junior star who has just understood the prototype of the domain. However, what is the use of your domain prototype in my domain? The white monkey creature suddenly laughed when he saw that Jia Yan actually released such a small black area. It turns out that the black color all over Jia Yan is the prototype of his domain. The prototype of this domain is a little larger than what he released before, and it vaguely looks like a normal domain. But it is still too weak, and the newly born feeling cannot even affect the range too much. White Monkey naturally has the confidence to look down on the prototype of this field, because he believes that the general prototype of the field may not even be able to release its characteristics under the suppression of his field, which has a range of hundreds of kilometers and has almost turned into reality. Has no effect. In his own field, his speed increased several times. Coming quickly. You must know that the domain is the biggest reliance of a strong star level. Even if he and Jia Yan were tied in the previous battle, he did not think much of the junior star level in front of him. This is because after he released the domain, not to mention Jia Yan in this way, the star class that has just understood the rudimentary realm is a stronger star class, such as the white species and the river dragon. He is confident that he can completely crush them. Click, click, click. Jia Yan felt that with the rapid arrival of the white monkey creature, the blackness around his body was almost visible to the naked eye and was suppressed in an instant, almost returning to his body. You think I'm easy to bully because my field is weak? A faint smile appeared in Jia Yan's eyes. In the past, there were many star-level strong men who thought he was easy to bully because he was weak and even had no domain. But now, all of these strong men are no longer in this world. He can win the star level without a domain, not to mention that now he already has a prototype of a domain. Die. The white monkey creature didn't hold anything back at all. He didn't even bother to ask Jia Yan's name, he just wanted to kill him with one blow. But when he punched Jia Yan, who should have been unable to move, The sparkle in Jia Yan's eyes was even more impressive in an instant. Then he retreated, and the black surrounding his body, even if it could not open the white monkey's territory, still allowed Jia Yan's real body to escape the enemy's control in this second, making him take half a step back. And it is this half step that plays a key role. Puff! The white monkey punched a twisted space. What? He escaped into the subspace like this. Is this guy really not talented in the subspace? How come the power to hit him is so great? The white monkey was startled for a moment, but a sense of crisis appeared behind him, causing him to quickly put aside his thoughts and move to the side to avoid it. Sure enough, looking for the book garden behind him, a dark foot was almost next to his body, piercing the vacuum. Once the opponent's attack starts, it will continue without delay. The two front feet were like lightning, striking again and again. The white monkey creature was almost completely on the defensive for a while. You are definitely not the first time you have fought against a star of my level, but you are so skilled in fighting with the weak against the strong. The white monkey creature clearly feels that it can suppress the opponent at any time in its own field, but in Jia Yan's continuous battle under the constant attacks, he couldn't use his brainwave power to mobilize the field. And just when Jia Yan launched a wave of attacks that kept him in a panic for a while, he saw the white monkey adjusting his strength and sneered and hid in the subspace. Zhizzy! Bastard, you're so cunning. The white monkey wanted to punch out the series of useless things, but he punched the empty space again. The monkey's face suddenly turned red, and he roared angrily. Mobile phone users, please browse and read for a better reading experience. Reborn as an Interstellar Giant Mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1307. Remember in 1 second to provide you with wonderful novels to read. Subspace talent is not a rare talent in the starry sky of genius battlefield, and certainly cannot be said to be very common. But this is not a rare talent, but in this starry sky, it has become an extremely rare talent. At least it plays a decisive role when facing so many stellar opponents. Jia Yan's combat power is second to none among the subspace talents, and he can break free from the domain control of stellar creatures time and time again. After so many battles, it can be said that the subspace talent played the biggest role in his victory. Watch you run away. The white monkey creature suddenly turned around during a certain attack and struck him in the back. Jia Yan, who had just escaped its attack, just retreated into the subspace and appeared behind it. Huh! Seeing this blow, Jia Yan was surprised and collided with it with his front foot. Within the field, the opponent's strength has increased dramatically. A terrible force struck Jia Yan's feet through the place where the two sides met. Jia Yan could only hear a clicking sound from his feet, which was transmitted through the bones to his ears. The already terrifying power is now even more terrifying and invincible. Jia Yan was shocked, and when the white monkey creature didn't expect it at all, the subspace behind Jia Yan opened directly. A huge suction force suddenly emerged from the cracked space. What's this? The white monkey was startled, and his body was suddenly attracted by this force. He was so frightened that he quickly stopped chasing Jia Yan, and instead consolidated his territory. Soon, the cracked subspace was suppressed by the power of the domain, and the suction force almost disappeared. Man-made black hole? You can do some tricks, but your star level really doesn't look like a star level at all. No wonder, you are just a newly promoted person. The white monkey's expression is extremely ugly. From the perspective of an orthodox star-level powerhouse like him, Jia Yan's strength is not very strong, but he has a talent for subspace and some kind of black hole method, which is very weird. For an orthodox strongman like him, this was almost a crooked way, so he looked down upon it. But he looked down upon him, and he still wanted to continue the battle with Jia Yan. Die! The white monkey creature clenched his fist, and as he clenched his fist, it seemed that his control over this area suddenly increased. Click, click, click. There was even a trace of sound in the space that was supposed to be silent. This was a precursor to the explosion of the space. This move cannot be blocked. Jia Yan watched from a distance. He was not prepared for the sudden battle, so he was still a little confused at this moment. One thought has been lingering in his mind, that is, who is the creature in front of him? Even if he doesn't know the distribution of forces in this area, Jia Yan thinks that he has a rough idea of the stellar powerhouses within a few light years around him through the White Galaxy information. But no matter where he looks at it, he is fighting against him in front of him. The star-level white monkeys are not any of these strong men. Furthermore, the strength of this white monkey has vaguely reached the extremely powerful level of the primary star level. It is much stronger than the star-level powerhouses I fought before. If such a existence is a nearby creature, it will not be able to survive on the white planet. The information should not be unrecorded. Could it be that he is not a star in the nearby galaxy? Jia Yan suddenly thought of this. But regardless of whether it's a nearby star or not, now that the battle has begun, Jia Yan won't be careless. Puff. After the starry sky sounded, Jia Yan felt his body tighten suddenly again. Humph, you deviant star-level star, you must die for me now. The white monkey creature walked slowly and confidently, came to Jia Yan, and then raised his fist. In his opinion, it is completely impossible for Jia Yan to resist. You must know that this is the most terrifying control power after the realization of his domain. Generally speaking, the primary star creature that has just reached the stellar level and does not even have a domain, there was no way to resist. And Jia Yan in front of him was indeed unable to resist. Oops. Jia Yan exploded with all his strength, but still couldn't stop the realm from controlling him. But at this moment, Jia Yan's eyes sparkled. Blow it up. A piece of dark matter that didn't know where it came from suddenly appeared next to the white monkey creature. Then, without him checking, it suddenly exploded beside it. What? When the white monkey creature woke up, the explosion had already occurred. The force of this explosion was so terrifying that it completely shattered the tightly controlled space. And his attack couldn't help but be knocked away and fell into the air. Sure enough, after my broken body is left for a long time, it won't be that powerful anymore. Jia Yan's was not too surprised, because the explosion was caused by his own control. As for the material of the explosion, it was actually a piece of body that Jia Yan had taken off from his own body when he was injured before. Due to the influence of the small antimatter tree during promotion, Jia Yan actually possesses the antimatter properties of his body, and this property is deeply hidden. If he does not activate it himself, it will not cause the rejection of positive matter. Anyway, he was injured some time ago. Jia Yan gritted his teeth and cut off the severely injured body. This was the explosive that blew away the white monkey in front of him. However, it seems that after being away from the body for a long time, the antimatter properties have almost disappeared. At least it is much less powerful than the fresh one. When the power of the domain was slightly loosened, Jia Yan quickly retreated towards the rear. The white monkey creature was hit by the power of the explosion. A trace of scar appeared on its body, and its expression instantly became terrifying. He was not seriously injured, but he was completely angry now. You must know that he is a member of the Zitong Alliance, and the star-level experts who can enter this alliance are at least one of the more powerful beings in the primary level of stars. But now, he, who prides himself on being powerful, is actually facing such a hard fight against a star-level powerhouse who has just entered the star and doesn't even have a domain? He was even injured, which made the already irritable white monkey creature even more angry. I don't believe it. You have so many foreign means. The white monkey creature's expression became crazy, and waves of brainwave power began to circulate. The area that had been hit by a bomb just now and had slight cracks was instantly repaired. However, at this time, Jia Yan quickly took advantage of the fact that the domain was not completely suppressed, used his spatial talent, and exited the opponent's domain. Don't run away if you can, you are a wicked person who uses foreign objects. The white monkey was in the domain and could not catch up with Jia Yan, who entered the subspace, so he could only roar in anger. The strength of this white monkey creature is a bit stronger than that of ordinary star-level creatures. It is estimated to be about 1/3 stronger than that of the Western bandit. At least in the star-level creatures I have fought, except for Living Channel, it belongs to the second most powerful existence. Jia Yan's expression was slightly solemn. He didn't know the origin of the opponent yet. If it weren't for his many tricks in the fight just now, he might have been injured. Of course, the white monkey creature at this time thought that Jia Yan's strength was just like this, but what he didn't know was that Jia Yan was at his strongest when he was injured. When the time comes, the blue defense and the self-destruction of the remaining body will make the white monkey doubt his life. But Jia Yan had no intention of letting himself get beaten so badly again. After all, every stellar battle, he fought so hard, it would be too ugly. As an evolved beast, it is natural for him to improve his strength and fighting level in every battle. Let me see how long your field can last. A hint of joking appeared in Jia Yanfu's eyes. He already knows that the primary domain power of a star is not so easy to sustain, and it also has the disadvantage that it is relatively slow to exert. So now he is waiting for the time when the white monkey creature takes back its own territory. Do you dare to come here? Do you deserve to be called a star like this? The white monkey was 1,000 kilometers away from Jia Yan, screaming fiercely. But Jia Yan ignored him and just stood proudly in the universe, waiting for the white monkey to close the territory. After a while, the white monkey seemed to be tired of scolding, and his anger had subsided a lot. That's how it is. Even if he is angry, he still understands that there are so many strong people in the universe. Those who use foreign objects and poisons. As long as they can become strong, everyone will do whatever they can. There is no need for him to be too angry. You don't dare to come here and you don't run away. You are a cowardless person. My time is precious, sir, so I won't play with you anymore. The white monkey creature cursed and closed its territory. Unexpectedly, he had just closed his territory with his front foot. Jia Yan over there, his eyes lit up and he flew towards him. The subspace talent unfolded and entered the subspace. The next moment, he appeared in front of the white monkey creature 1,000 kilometers away. What? You? How could the white monkey monster think that Jia Yan was so shameless? As soon as he closed his territory, Jia Yan attacked. With an expression of shock, he quickly used his fists to fight with Jia Yan. In the starry sky, the subspace continued to break up, and the two star classes were evenly matched again in an instant. If you have the ability, don't fight me like this. And wait for me in my field, bastard, you still attack me secretly. White monkey was so angry that his whole body was shaking. He felt that Jia Yan was so shameless. A powerful star-level man actually played such a little trick. When his domain was open, he didn't dare to fight. When his domain was closed, he suddenly used the speed advantage of his subspace talent to jump up and fight him. In this way, his field will be completely difficult to use. Asshole, look at my domain. You're running away again? Are you a star-level powerhouse? If you have the ability, fight me. The white monkey creature kept fighting, and the field finally opened again. But before that, Jia Yan had already felt the fluctuations in the domain, and instantly retreated into the subspace, escaping from the scope of the domain in an instant. How can this be called shameless? This is already invincible and shameless. The white monkey creature was so angry that it wanted to spit blood. Mobile phone users, please browse and read for a better reading experience. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1308. Of course, Jia Yan is not afraid of the other party's insults. On the contrary, it should be said that the harder the white monkey creature scolds, the more it shows that he is shaken in his heart, and the happier Jia Yan is. Each step is a step towards victory. Puff. Finally, when the white monkey creature removed the domain for the second time and his sense of strength was greatly reduced, Jia Yan made an attack. As soon as he emerged from the subspace, he stabbed him in the chest with his foot. Ah! This bastard! The white monkey's biological muscles were completely clamped. At this moment, Jia Yan felt that his feet were piercing into the opponent's chest, unable to make an inch forward. Even the brainwave power cannot explode, as if this white monkey creature has some unique defensive physique. You are trapped by me now, come and die. Even though the white monkey creature was in excruciating pain, it still laughed ferociously. This was his trick. He really had no choice against Jia Yan. He was also afraid that Jia Yan would keep stalling the fight with him. You must know that the price of each energy exerted by the domain was huge. He did not have the physical strength to fight with Jia Yan. The rock is consumed. So he used the bitter meat trick. It seems that I am not the only creature in this universe with physical talent. Although the defense of this white monkey creature is not as good as my azure defense, it is still extremely amazing. Jia Yan moved his foot again, but couldn't pull it out. The white monkey's blow had already come down, falling directly on Jia Yan's foot that had penetrated his body. He was smart enough not to attack Jia Yan's head directly, because he knew that even at such a long distance, Jia Yan would definitely have a way to avoid it. So he planned to cut off Jia Yan's foot first. Kaka. Sure enough, when his attack came down, Jia Yan's foot made a crisp sound from the inside and broke completely. It's a pity that I have to consume my ghost blood again. Jia Yan felt pain all over his body, but at this moment, he did not think of his own danger. Instead, he thought of the ghost blood that needed to be consumed to repair the foot, and he felt the pain in his body. This is the confidence in the battle situation after reaching a certain level of strength. And his foot was broken. If that white monkey creature knew the antimatter properties of Jia Yan's body, he would probably cry when he saw his foot broken on his chest. However, at this time, the white monkey did not understand the horror of having a broken foot. Instead, it was extremely excited and laughed, thinking that it had the upper hand. That monster, I won this battle. I know I can't catch your talent. Now get out of here, huh? The white monkey creature saw Jia Yan in front of him and backed away like crazy while he was speaking. He couldn't help being surprised. Because through previous battles, he knew that Jia Yan, a strange creature, couldn't escape easily due to its nature. Speaking of it, the two creatures had somewhat similar temperaments and would not let go of their identified prey. Why are you running away? Something is wrong. The white monkey monster's head was spinning like crazy at this moment, thinking that something was wrong. Did he place some kind of explosive next to me just now? Impossible. Explosives of that level cannot be achieved by technology. Even if they can be achieved, the size cannot be very small, otherwise they will not be able to threaten a star level. Then what exactly is wrong? The white monkey looked around in horror. While he was in doubt, Jia Yan had already retreated 2,000 kilometers away. He was also afraid of the power of a fresh severed foot. No need to look for it, you are already dead. Jia Yan spoke from a distance to this white monkey who could still pose a certain threat to him, using the power of his brainwaves to transmit sounds. What do you mean, I won't be scared by you? The alarm bell in the white monkey's heart was even louder. While speaking, he also quickly held up his domain and retreated quickly. But he only saw Jia Yan, who was far away, shaking his head slightly. Then he gently raised his other unbroken forefoot and pointed at the severed foot inserted into the white monkey's body. If you want to hurt me, you have to pay the price. You can die. Give me. Burst. When Jia Yan pointed at the severed foot, White Monkey was surprised to find that the seemingly harmless severed foot inserted into his chest suddenly burst out with an astonishing white brilliance. It reacted with the positive matter in the White Monkey's body and was about to explode almost instantly. This process cannot be reversed. White Monkey spat out a sentence and wanted to curse something else. But before he could even speak his words, a terrifying explosion erupted from his chest. How terrifying is the strength and defense of stellar-level creatures! In fact, it is extremely terrifying. There are rumors that even if the planets collide and break into several pieces, there will be no casualties among the star-level experts resting on them. It can be seen how terrifying the defensive power of the stellar powerhouse is. Moreover, the defensive power of the White Monkey creature is definitely good within the star level. At least within the initial star level, it is definitely a powerful level. However, his defense power was completely powerless against the explosion of the severed foot. At this moment, the brilliance was like the brilliance of another star in the starry sky, exploding, and the brightness that exploded in an instant far exceeded the star itself. A land of more than 1,000 kilometers was directly affected by the explosion, and the terrifying shock wave swept the subspace into pieces. Jia Yan retreated 2,000 kilometers away, and was also affected by the violent power. Gamma rays and radiation energy made his body feel faint pain. You must know that this is a full 2,000 kilometers away, and it can still cause pain to Jia Yan, who has strong defenses. This shows how terrifying the power of this explosion is. Not to mention the White Monkey creature, under such a level of horrific explosion, there is only one word of death. This, Master Messenger, is he dead? How is it possible? He is a star-level creature from the Zitong Alliance. His strength is almost as high as the extremely advanced and top-level existence of the primary star level. What should we do now? We don't know that star-level master. Could it be that he is the white star that the news said? Assassin, it turns out that the great change in the white star is true. It must be. Since this lord can even kill the messenger, it is very possible for the white overlord to be killed by him. Let's get out quickly. With such a star, we don't have any the possibility of resistance. I just don't know if Master Helong is really dead as the message said. Now I kind of believe it. When Jia Yan killed the White Monkey creature, the remaining creatures in the Helong galaxy all understood that they would definitely not be able to fight Jia Yan. Even a star-level being who is the messenger of the Western Alliance can be killed. Even if it is broken, it is a tragic victory, but it is not a powerful being that they can imagine. I have met this gentleman, but I don't know what his name is. My name is Assassin. You must have received information from the White Star in the Helong Galaxy before. Now, those senior officials who did not agree to surrender before should stand up for me. Don't let me find you personally, otherwise your family and relatives will not survive. Jia Yan said lightly. Not long after, several trembling creatures, almost all semi-star level experts, trembled and understood that if they stood up, they would die. But it's not okay if you don't stand up. As Jia Yan said, this kind of thing is easy to investigate, and you will die when the time comes, and your family and relatives will be affected. It's better to stand up now and die yourself. Very good, there is no one else, right? I don't have much time. If there are still people who refuse to come out, I won't be polite when I find out. Jia Yan turned to a group of welcoming creatures. In front of him, there were thousands of battleships and hundreds of half-star level warriors, but not one of them dared to resist. And every one of them was trembling, barely daring to move. It can be seen that the star level, the majesty in the universe, is almost impossible for ordinary creatures to defeat. Even the semi-star level powerhouse who seems to be just a hair away does not dare to make any change. If they want them to die, they can only kill them at the provocation. It seems that nothing has slipped through the net. Very good, you can go in peace. As long as your family does not offend me again, I will not pursue it. Jia Yan said lightly, and then his brainwave power exploded instantly. A half-star powerhouse, who had no resistance at all under the power of his brain waves, suddenly turned into fragments, and piles of flesh and blood exploded, becoming some of the endless dust in the starry sky. Several half-star level creatures were executed in an instant, but Jia Yan did not show any emotion. Now, ask Shiyuan to remove your defenses for me, and then show me the resource inventory of the Helong Galaxy. By the way, there are also high-level personnel information, which must be sorted and displayed within 1 day. Time is precious, understand? Ming, I understand. 1.5-star level creatures, as well as more sub-level creatures, quickly responded in panic, and then they started taking action extremely quickly. 10 minutes later, Jia Yan arrived at a main star in the Helong Galaxy. Unlike the White Galaxy, the Helong Galaxy has 5 terrestrial planets. With alien technology, these 5 terrestrial planets have of course been transformed into habitable stars. Therefore, there are 5 main stars in the Helong Galaxy. Although there are primary and secondary stars among the 5, they are all developing well. Such a galaxy has such a small population and so few resources. It's much worse than a white star. Another day later, just as Jia Yan ordered, he saw the hastily compiled list of Helong Galaxy resources. However, he found that not only was the population in this galaxy extremely small, but there were also not many resources. Looking at the development time, it became clear to him slightly. It turned out that this galaxy was a barren land before the Helong came over. Only a few races lived here, and the real development time was less than 20 years. Years later, it is normal for the population to be small. The resource problem is because the mining time has not been long, and this kind of galaxy should not have any special products, otherwise it would have been occupied by other star classes first. When Jia Yan was exploring everything in the Helong Galaxy under a group of trembling Helong Galaxy creatures, the signal about the death of the white monkey monster actually crossed the endless starry sky and came to a prosperous place. The white monkey is actually dead. Please remember the first domain name of this book. VIP Chinese. Mobile version reading website. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin Yu. Chapter 1309. The Zitong Alliance, as a small alliance organization in a corner of the stellar battlefield, has always been very influential within a radius of 20 light-years. I didn't expect that there are creatures that can kill white monkeys in the Helong Galaxy. Could it be that Helong has concealed his strength? No, it's impossible to hide the strength of the river dragon, and the white species further away don't have the ability to kill the white monkey. I think it could be the work of some of our hostile forces. That's all. No matter who did this, we must investigate it to the end. We can't just let it go if we kill the stellar masters of our Zitong Alliance. In the Zitong Alliance, several huge creatures gathered together in one place. But they quickly dropped the subject. Well, the white monkey can only be considered the weakest among us, and he joined not long ago. Since he can fail such a simple task, it means that there is nothing wrong with his death, and it is only because of his uselessness. Now let's discuss another matter. A star-level powerhouse who kept his strength hidden, but just by looking at his aura, could vaguely tell that he was not much stronger than the white monkey creature, said this to several star-level colleagues around him. The star-level creatures around him actually seemed to agree with his words, and no longer seemed to pay much attention to the death of the white monkey creature. You must know that even if Jia Yan defeated the white monkey, he still paid a certain price. He did not expect that the enemy in his eyes would be such an unbearable existence in the Zitong Alliance. Now let's talk about another matter, which is the tracing letter sent by our alma mater, the Stellar Academy. According to intelligence, The monster who dared to kill people from our stellar academy has fled to the direction of the stellar battlefield. If he escapes when he comes to our place, we have to catch him. If he dares to harm the reputation of our alma mater, we can't let him go. Humph, that's right. If there are not many non-resident strong men in our stellar academic field, how could a rumored elementary stellar level creature possibly kill so many strong people in the academic field? If I were there that day, it will definitely make him die without a burial place. Several stellar level creatures were extremely angry at the so-called creature that killed the stellar level experts in the stellar academic field. If Jia Yan could hear their words, he would definitely be surprised. Because according to what this group of creatures said, they are actually stars from the field of stellar science. This is almost unbelievable for Jia Yan. Because if you compare it to the genius battlefield, you will know how low the chance of a stellar graduate is. And in this stellar battlefield, which is further away from the stellar domain, the appearance of a star from the stellar domain is considered good, but how can so many of them gather at the same time? However, Jia Yan actually had no idea that he had completely underestimated the stellar cultivation capabilities of the stellar academic domain and the genius battle domain. It is true that in the stellar academy and the genius battlefield, there are not many star classes directly cultivated, but in fact, more star classes are actually cultivated in the two major star fields for a period of time before going out to the outside world, or because of family training, either by chance or due to long-term practice, finally reached the star level. The number of this star level can be said to be unfathomable. It is a huge number. Of course, if such an effect cannot be achieved, why can the two star regions that mainly cultivate geniuses exist for hundreds of thousands of years? We must find Jia Yan. Kill the geniuses in our stellar academic field who are at the stellar level. You must know that those geniuses are only 300 years old at most. In the future, they may enter the middle stage of stellar or even late stage geniuses. Maybe they will be able to protect us in the future. Now that these geniuses have been killed, it is also a huge loss for us seniors. Every star-level existence has a gloomy expression. The training method of the Stellar Academy allows students who have graduated or dropped out of the Stellar Academy to have a favorable impression of students who have graduated from the Academy. This is also incomparable to the Genius battlefield. After all, in the Genius battlefield, students fight for life and death. If they meet after leaving the battlefield, it will be fine if they don't fight. Humph, that's all. We still don't know if Jia Yan has come to our side. Now let's look back at the White Monkey incident. Although he didn't graduate from our school, he was recruited by us. Star Powerhouse, now we have to seek justice for him. Pippin, let's go to the Helong Galaxy together to see what happened. While one star-level creature spoke, another star-level creature nodded. Soon after, the two creatures with astonishing momentum boarded their respective battleships and flew away in the direction of the Helong Galaxy like lightning. On the Helong Galaxy side, Jia Yan never thought that there would be some discussion about him in the so-called Zitong Alliance. Of course, he took the Spanish Alliance's reaction into consideration. That kind of alliance of star-level forces will definitely not sit back and watch me kill their members. So I have to be prepared. However, during this period of time, I have fought against so many star-level stars, and I have a faint feeling of breakthrough in strength recently. As long as I break through this layer of shackles, I may be able to display my domain. Jia Yan is in a dilemma now. Should he return to the White Star and be promoted, or should he be promoted in the Helong Galaxy? For him, everything is the same in the stellar battlefield. However, the people in the White Galaxy are more stable after all. This is different in the Helong Galaxy. He used iron-blooded methods, and there must be many people who hate him. If Jia Yan makes some small moves when he is improving his strength, it might also be a blow to Jia Yan. Humph, the way I have always acted has been to be fast and brave. How can I be afraid of these creatures below half a star level now? After Jia Yan thought about it for a while, he directly determined this. Then he found a creature that looked like a pig monster. This monster is now the acting minister appointed by Jia Yan, and almost everything is left to him. The only thing Jia Yan saw that caught his eye was that this creature was extremely afraid of death. As long as he was threatened with life and death, he would definitely do it. "Sir, what's the matter? Where is the most suitable place for practicing retreat in your Helong galaxy? In other words, where is there more energy and material?" Jia Yan asked calmly. "This." The pig monster was slightly startled. He thought that Jia Yan must be asking him about internal affairs, but he didn't expect that this was what he was asking. "Back to my lord, although I don't know where is suitable for retreat, the former Helong, Helong, he likes to practice on the North Star. Bei Erxing. I understand. Go down and work hard. You will definitely not regret it in the future." "Yes." Not long after the pig monster left, a lightning-like black figure quickly left the Helong Star number 1 planet under the gaze of everyone. "Dad, the assassin is gone, why should we sacrifice our lives for him? You don't know, privately, countless people are scolding our family, saying that we are profit-seeking people who are unjust. There are also some organizations that want to use high-ranking officials to the amount shall be based on the heads of our father and son. On planet number 1 of the River Dragon system, the pig monster and the little pig monster smaller than him looked at the giant mosquito leaving overhead. Son, you don't understand. This is the time for our family to take off. The pig monster shook his head. I think this assassin doesn't care about ordinary affairs at all. He will come to our family not because our family is very capable, but because it is easier to control. He even vaguely said that as long as our family does not do any harm, he won't mind even if our family does something in the future. The only thing we have to do is to be this assassin's dog, do you understand? This lord actually thinks so." The smaller pig monster was almost completely shocked. He thought that his family would definitely be targeted by thousands of people in the future, and would not have any interests at all. Unexpectedly, his father had already analyzed the true thoughts of this adult. The larger pig monster sighed. In fact, there was one thing he didn't say, that is, this Lord Assassin might not even care about the Helong Galaxy. He didn't even pay much attention to the huge interests here. How could such a being care about them? A small move for the family's future? Jia Yan was flying in the universe. Without the Etissa, he felt like he was missing a foot and it was extremely difficult to fly. I don't know if the self-repair of the Aditha has been completed. Alas, in this place, I don't know if there is an extremely powerful star class. If a mid-star star comes out, even if I can repair the field, I can only escape. At that time, we will have to rely on the escapability of the Etissa. After Jia Yan worried about the Etissa for a while, he stopped thinking about it. In the stellar battlefield, it is said that there are mid-stage stars, but not many. As for the existence of more powerful high-level stars, it can be said that they do not exist at all. After the stellar battlefield became a conventional battle area, the number of times high-level stars appeared did not exceed 10 times in total. When they reach high-level stars, there are already other places suitable for their development. For existences at that level, the stellar battlefield is too small and too weak. So Jia Yan only needs to worry about whether there are any stellar mid-level creatures in this stellar battlefield. Of course, even if there are, as long as he does not provoke the opponent, those extremely powerful stellar mid-level beings will not rush to attack him, right? In the starry sky of the universe, a huge mosquito image shuttled quickly through it. For Jia Yan, he is already a standard starry sky beast at this time. But at this level, he found that his goals and pursuits were still not over. Because above the primary level of stars, there are also intermediate levels of stars, and there are also more powerful and mysterious high-level stars. There are even rumored existences of top-level stars that have almost reached the level of the galaxy. Jia Yan couldn't even imagine being able to deal with these powerful people, let alone the galaxy-level powerful people whose strength was even more terrifying and almost the same as God's. Please remember the first domain name of this book. VIP Chinese. Mobile version reading website. Reborn as an Interstellar Giant Mosquito. Author, Bulletin Yu. Chapter 1310. Even among the galaxy level, Jia Yan knew that the most terrifying ones were those territory lords. The galaxy level is no longer something Jia Yan can imagine. How terrifying is the power of the territory lord? This was completely confusing to him. So, the stronger you are, the more you want to pursue a stronger realm. There is almost no end to this kind of thing. I just don't know if there is a stronger person in the galaxy. If there is, well, it's better not to think so much. Jia Yan gave up the idea with a wry smile. As he flew, a planet marked in his brain appeared in front of him. Well, there is a very harsh environment on this planet. The harsh environment represents the amount of energy. It seems that the river dragon is quite good at choosing places. Yes, this is it. Jia Yan looked at the star in front of him. There was a strong wind blowing inside almost all the time. No, it should be said to be a storm. The terrifying wind speed reached hundreds of kilometers per hour, and the giant round storms could be clearly seen even in the universe. This is a gas planet, about the same size as Uranus. There is also some high-energy oxygen and helium inside. Let's go down and have a look. Speaking of which, this is my first time entering a non-gas planet. Jia Yan went down curiously. In fact, he already had the ability to enter a gas planet before, but he was always cautious and did not do so. But even the river dragon can enter the North Star in front of him, and he must be able to enter, otherwise, wouldn't it mean that Jia Yan is weaker than the river dragon? As soon as he got close to the North Star, Jia Yan felt a terrible attraction, pulling him crazily. This gravitational force is about 3 times heavier than that of the Earth. I don't know how much heavier the gravity will be if it is close to the surface. Jia Yan had a calm mind and entered the interior of the star without much scruples. To be honest, he didn't have much fear, because with his space talent, even if something unexpected happened, he could easily escape through subspace. After falling into the gravitational field of the star, Jia Yan only felt that the surroundings were filled with endless smoke-like things. He was in rapid free fall, and the substances in the gas turned into chemicals similar to water, condensing on his exoskeleton, which made Jia Yan slightly surprised. When people from Earth come here, regardless of the topic of breathing, even if they can breathe, they will definitely die within a short time. Jia Yan fell quickly, and the surrounding gravity slowly increased step by step. At the end, it was almost 30 times that of the Earth. That's all, there is no end if we go on. The surrounding gas will only become thicker and thicker, and finally become a liquid-like substance. It is impossible to find land. This is a gas planet. Jia Yan's brain wave power surged up instantly, and his falling speed suddenly stopped. The strong gravity caused Jia Yan, who used the power of brain waves at this moment, to uncontrollably drop further, and then he stopped. It's scary. This gravity is beyond my imagination. Even Jia Yan was startled. But when he stopped, he felt another huge natural force on this star. A terrifying gust of wind blew around him. The wind speed was so fast and the influence of gravity made it almost impossible for Jia Yan to stand firmly in the air. I see, that Helong came here to train his domain power. At this moment, Jia Yan understood why Helong came here. It turned out that when the strong wind blew, he couldn't help but use the power of his field. He instantly felt that his field was holding on in the strong wind, but it was extremely depleted and crumbling. As long as you continue to release the domain, and then fight against the strong wind and gravity, you can hone the power of the domain. Jia Yan's eyes lit up. In fact, This method is very simple and has good results. Jia Yan thought that this should be a common sense method for forging fields in the stellar level. After all, gas planets can be found almost everywhere in the universe. And almost every gas star is stormy. He stood in the gas, and the strong wind around him kept blowing, seeming to tear him apart completely. However, Jia Yan deliberately stirred up the black power around his body to offset part of the force of the strong wind. Soon the black power was blown away and almost disappeared. But one of Jia Yan's strong advantages is his endurance. The black twisting power does not stop at all, constantly twisting, faintly about to extinguish, but it persists extremely tenaciously. Perhaps the river dragon did not expect that Jia Yan, who came here after his death, would be such a capable star-level creature. Taking advantage of his physical strength, maybe his twisted primary field would really improve quickly. Maybe. Of course, this is also the actual situation. Well, that's good. I feel like after a while, I've slowly gained a new understanding of my field. Come again. Jia Yan simply entered a semi-meditative state. If Helong was still alive to see this scene, he would definitely be shocked. Because even with the level of his domain, he couldn't hold on for long in this violent storm. But Jia Yan was lucky, using such a weak domain. Not only did he not fall into a state of powerlessness within 3 to 5 minutes, instead, he stayed in the city, feeling as if he would continue practicing forever. This is an amazing scene for any star level. But Jia Yan himself is not surprised, and he is quite satisfied with his physical fitness and endurance. Ahem, he is a man with great endurance. In this way, Jia Yan entered normal practice. The time he spared this time was to completely cultivate the field, and now that he has such a good place to hone his field, he is exactly what he wants. While Jia Yan was practicing, time slowly passed. For a star, 1 month and 2 months is actually not that long. Sometimes it even takes a month to figure out the progress of strength at a time. So before Jia Yan came out of seclusion, the Helong galaxy received 2 visitors. Calling them visitors was wrong, because these 2 creatures were almost menacing. What greeted them was the pig monster creature appointed by Jia Yan. Tell me, where did that assassin go? If he dared to kill members of our Zitong alliance, wouldn't he dare to face our crusade? A shocking sound resounded throughout the universe. In this cosmic starry sky, whether it is a sub-level or a semi-star level, there are injuries of varying severity. Puff puff. In each of the welcoming warships or welcome ships, there are echoes of creatures that are either seriously injured or dead. This can actually inflict half-star level injuries just by relying on the power of brain waves. Although it is only a slight injury, this strength is already incredible. That's right, even if it's not the primary peak of a star, it's definitely close to it. The creatures in the stellar battlefield are not that unfamiliar with the stellar level. When the sound appeared and caused a large number of casualties to the creatures in the Helong galaxy, each one of them judged the opponent's strength. Star's primary peak. Hearing this guess, the pig monster who was talking to the terrifying voice felt his heart twitch. Now, it's not easy to handle. In the stellar level, the strength of each level is very different, and the water is also extremely deep, such as the primary star level. For creatures at this level, new entrants will be much weaker than those who have been at the primary star level for a long time. Cut. The more powerful ones are the peak experts. Reaching the peak means that they can break through the elementary level almost at any time, although there are very few real breakthroughs because it is difficult to advance to the stellar level. But as long as you have this strength, you can almost sweep through the first level. As long as you don't encounter someone with similar strength and a star level below the peak strength, you can't be an opponent. Father, this is what you think, we cling to a big tree. Now, what should we do? Next to the pig monster, a slightly smaller pig monster creature looked almost depressed and almost wanted to die. Being questioned by a peak-level primary star creature was still unfriendly. He could already imagine that what awaited his family would be immediate destruction. The pig monster in front of him was also beating his heart at this time, but after hearing his son's voice, he became serious. "Son, now you have to listen to Dad. The future of our family is at this moment. Although this strong man with the peak strength of the first-level star is scary, our assassin is not bad, and he might also there are some backstage and so on, we can't turn the gun right away, otherwise we don't know how we will die by then, do you understand?" After he said this, he also understood that his words would definitely not be able to hide the stellar powerhouse who was not far away. "This Sir of the Zitong Alliance, my assassin has been out for more than a month and there has been no news. If you are here to see my sir, I'm sorry, but he is really not here." "Oh? You are an interesting creature. Do you think that assassin has a backend?" "Haha." When the pig monster rose in response, another slightly interested sound sounded in the surrounding starry sky. "What? Jew, there are actually 2 adults with such strength here, this. When the pig monster heard this voice, and then felt the power contained in the voice, his whole body instantly became sluggish. If he thought that Jia Yan would be able to wander around when there was an enemy at the beginning of the peak, but now that the enemy actually had 2 astral level beings at the beginning of the peak, he was not optimistic about Jia Yan at all. "Got it? Forget it, this pig monster has gone crazy. He still thinks that Jia Yan can deal with us. This kind of guy is not needed. Let's just destroy it. There is also the Helong Galaxy. I don't think it is necessary to exist anymore. After cleaning up and going to that white galaxy, I don't believe I can't catch the assassin's tail." An earth-shattering voice sounded faintly. Then, in the battleship where the owner of the voice was located, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted. "Stop. Please remember the first domain name of this book. VIP Chinese. Mobile version reading website. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin Yu. Chapter 1311. When 2 star-level creatures want to take action against the creatures in the Helong Galaxy. A figure appeared like lightning and quickly escaped from the starry sky in an instant. Huh. The figure came as fast as lightning and stood directly in the middle of the confrontation between the 2 sides. On the Zitong Alliance side, the 2 star classes were in their own battleships, their expressions moved. Because the flying figure was almost exactly the same as the information they received. This meant that the opponent was that kind of assassin? It seems that this guy is somewhat similar to the Jia Yan mentioned in the academic field. However, Jia Yan's body and many injuries are different from this creature. It is estimated that he is either of the same race, or there are many of this race in the universe. It should not be the same person. The 2 stars confirmed this after looking at Jia Yan's appearance. The person who came was indeed the assassin, Jia Yan. These 2 star-level creatures are actually so terrifying. Jia Yan had just received a warning from the pig monster. Although the warning did not include a request for Jia Yan's help, Jia Yan still appeared after thinking about it. For him, the rapid progress in the past month has fully met his expectations, so now even if it is not for rescue, he can still go out in a battle to test the results of his efforts. "Father, the master is actually here." On the Helong Galaxy side, the slightly smaller pig monster was almost trembling. He originally didn't believe in his father. How could a stellar powerhouse take risks for subordinates like them? And they are creatures like them who have never spent much time with adults. But he didn't expect that the assassin actually came forward in this situation. "You guys have done a great job. Leave the rest to me." Jia Yan said this calmly to a group of battleships beside him. After ordering them to retreat, a group of warships began to slowly leave. The 2 star-level creatures did not stop him, because they knew that threatening the lives of ordinary creatures would not be able to threaten a star-level powerhouse, and they would not do such a despicable thing. After a group of ordinary creatures left the battlefield, Jia Yan turned his attention to the battleships of the 2-star level powerhouses. Okay, let's talk about why you came to see me. Jia Yan seemed to have forgotten that he had killed a Zitong Alliance star, and asked these two powerful men unclear questions. Oh, assassin, you are a noble person who forgets things a lot. Did you forget about the white monkey who killed our Zitong Alliance a month ago? That's right, assassin, we came here this time just for this matter, but I didn't expect that your strength is so weak. You have just reached the primary level of the star, right? Then the white monkey can die in his hands. It would be better if he died, so as not to lower the overall strength of our Zitong Alliance. The words of the two stellar classes sounded, and it seemed that according to their tone, they were not too angry about Jia Yan killing the white monkey. After all, to them, the white monkey was different from other stellar classes in their Western Alliance. Living things are different. They look down on those who have graduated from non-stellar fields and will not regard them as one of their own. It turns out that he came here to avenge the white monkey, so let's figure out what you two want to do. Jia Yan nodded and did not deny that he had killed the white monkey. It seems that you have admitted your crime, so we will give you two choices. First, you can make a decision on your own. We can leave your body intact and we will not continue to hold your family responsible. The second rule is that if you refuse to sacrifice your life, we will still personally kill you, and after that we will also explore the location of your family and exterminate your ethnic group. The person who responded to Jia Yan was a star who seemed to be slightly stronger. When it came to killing Jia Yan's race, he didn't hesitate at all. It seemed that he had done many similar things before. They have never thought about what they would do if Jia Yan's race was powerful. In short, they would kill if they could, and they would give up if they couldn't. Oh, I see, a star-level powerhouse behaves in a domineering manner. Jia Yan nodded. He had always known that stellar-level powerhouses were relatively indifferent to ordinary creatures or races, but this was the first time he felt that stellar-level beings were so indifferent to other ordinary creatures. Natural perspective from above. Even if Jia Yan reached the star, he still didn't feel like this because his promotion time was too short. Okay, Jia Yan, now you can tell what choice you will make. A Zitong Alliance star launched a relentless pursuit of Jia Yan. Jia Yan shook his head. My choice. If you don't choose either one, why don't I give you two choices? Jia Yan looked at the 2-star levels lightly, and then his words were also full of aggressiveness. First, get out of here now. Second, I'll get you out of here. Choose one of the two, take your pick. What? What an arrogant elementary creature. Do you think that when you reach the star level, you can compare with the peak level elementary experts? The 2-star level creatures became furious after hearing Jia Yan's words. You must know that under normal circumstances, a creature that has just entered the star level will definitely be much weaker than the first star level. If these two creatures know that Jia Yan once killed the white monkey creature, maybe even seeing Jia Yan look down on him completely. But now Jia Yan not only did not consecrate them directly, but also did not have any sense of respect for them. Instead, he said such arrogant words to them. These are almost unacceptable words for these two stars. Of course, they didn't have a good impression of Jia Yan before, and they were full of murderous intentions. Even if they have a stronger dislike for Jia Yan now, they still want to kill him. After arousing the anger of the two great stars, Jia Yan was not nervous at all. Instead, he looked at the two powerful men in front of him to see whether they were preparing to join forces or to join forces one by one. This guy is too arrogant. I think we don't need to separate. We can just join forces to kill him, so we can go back to work. Okay, let's do this. The two stellar creatures had no intention of fighting alone. At this moment, they were ready to attack Jia Yan. Heh, you said you looked down on me, and you actually want to join forces. Jia Yan's eyes flashed, and he admired these two stars. They were so cautious about an existence they looked down on. It seemed that they were not too pedantic. It's a pity that they definitely don't know that Jia Yan's strength is not an ordinary first-level star at all. Even compared to him a month ago, he was much stronger. The biggest difference. That's it? Jia Yan, please give me your life. We will kill him with one blow and open the realm. Good. The two stars flew out of their battleships, one behind the other. Before flying towards Jia Yan, both of them activated their domain power like crazy. Puff. Puff. 2 times one after another, the two star-level players actually opened their own domains while flying. In an instant, 2 terrifying momentums completely blocked the surrounding world. These are 2 star-level powerhouses who have reached the pinnacle of the primary star level. Their domain power is no longer like ordinary primary star creatures, which feels a bit obscure, but can be used relatively smoothly. If it were the former Jia Yan, not to mention 2 peak beginners, even facing one would probably be difficult. After all, the domain is the maximum strength guarantee for the strong star class, and a star class without a domain is not even a true star class. However, does Jia Yan really have no domain now? Then wouldn't it mean that he had been practicing hard for a month and had no reward? Of course this month will not be in vain. You think I don't have a domain? Jia Yan looked at the 2 star-level creatures rushing towards him like crazy, and then laughed softly. In the past month, to be honest, Jia Yan has worked very hard. He even thought that if he didn't have the innate physique of an evolved beast in the past month, he probably wouldn't have been able to persevere even if he was on that gas planet. Relying on the terrifying endurance of the evolved beast, Jia Yan used the power of the prototype of the domain to train hard for a month in that stormy gas planet without eating, drinking, or sleeping. Such hard training has amazing results. And now, it's time for him to show the effect. You also have a domain? Oh, so what? At best, it's just a primary star-level domain. With such strength, we can destroy it with a single blow. The 2 flying star-level experts burst out laughing when they saw that Jia Yan was still showing off. What if a creature who has just entered the first level of the star has mastered the field? A first-timer is a first-timer. No matter how powerful he is, he can't reach their level. What's more, now that they are 2 people joining forces, it is impossible for a first-timer like Jia Yan to resist. But when they flew over Jia Yan and enveloped the power of the realm, they were about to completely crush the realm that Jia Yan was about to ascend, and then tear Jia Yan himself into powder. Boom! A black shocking wave of light, centered on Jia Yan's body, spread to the entire starry sky just like the shocking explosion wave that erupted. What? This? The 2 stellar powerhouses were completely confused at this moment. The terrifying realm that Jia Yan suddenly unleashed was completely beyond their expectations. Black, this is absolutely black. And the internal twist seems to be able to completely accommodate the surrounding world. As soon as the 2 of them came into contact with the black field, they were swallowed up by its twisted power and then killed into pieces. What kind of field is this? Please remember the first domain name of this book. VIP Chinese. Mobile version reading website. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1312. In front of the 2 star-level creatures, the circle of black waves spread out, but it did not directly break under the pressure of their 2 realms. On the contrary, this black color seems to have a kind of resilience. Even if it is crumbling, it is still madly devouring the domain power of their 2 star-level creatures. This scene immediately caused the expressions of the 2 stars to change drastically. To know the power of ordinary star-level fields, there are only a few of them, but the field in front of them now, for some reason, they have never seen before. Haha, you two seniors, are you pretty good in my field? When they were amazed, Jia Yan, who was inside the field, asked a question in an understatement. Humph, assassin is just a novel field. In the star level, no matter how novel the field is, it is useless if it is not strong enough. Give it to me now and break it. A star-level creature that used the yellow domain and looked like jewels suddenly snorted coldly, and then the power of his domain suddenly exploded. This creature's domain, I don't know what kind of domain it is, but when it appears, there are some yellow streams of light emerging. My domain was created by devouring gold over the years. The heavy metal attack contained in it can make other people's domains instantly unable to withstand the gravity and shatter. Now, you are just a junior domain, please crush it for me. The stellar level field exploded instantly, hitting Jia Yan's field. Just hearing a clicking sound, Jia Yan's twisted field actually connected to the surrounding subspace. After being hit by the opponent, the subspace was extremely distorted and fragmented. But after all, it is connected to the subspace, so the degree of hardness is greatly enhanced, so that after the yellow field was bombarded for a while, although the black one was crumbling, there was still no sign of fragmentation. What? So it turns out that it is connected to the realm of subspace. This is really a novel idea, but do you think that such a realm can escape our cooperation? Of course, the two star-level creatures suddenly changed their demeanor after seeing the essence of the black field. But they are star-level creatures after all, and they also know that there are so many star-level creatures in the world, and there are all kinds of domains. Jia Yan's current domain is by no means unique, and they will not be too shocked by it. At this moment, seeing that the domain of the first star-level creature had no effect, another star-level creature viciously aimed its domain at Jia Yan's black domain and bombarded it. The direction of his domain was a violent storm, and when it hit Jia Yan's domain, a thunder broke out in that domain. Jia Yan felt that his domain was showing signs of fragmentation again this time. They are worthy of being two primary level creatures. If this continues, even if the basic form of my domain is extremely tough forged in the storm, I will probably be blasted away by them over time, right? However, I am not someone who relies on the realm to fight, am I? Jia Yan smiled. Then, after feeling the opponent's attack, his body retreated and entered the subspace. It is a great pleasure for Jia Yan to be able to verify the field he has just cultivated here and to be able to achieve this. When Jia Yan retreated into the subspace, the two star-level creatures that were bombarding Jia Yan's domain power became stunned. In their view, the enemy's territory, which was about to be shattered, disappeared in an instant. However, as a star, even those who have never seen subspace talents are definitely not so ignorant. This is a subspace talent. Be careful, this guy is very difficult to deal with. The star-level creature in the Golden Realm understood Jia Yan's talent in less than a second. At the same time, my heart sank. He originally thought that Jia Yan's ability to defeat the white monkey creature was probably due to the help of the twisted field, but now it seems that Jia Yan's methods are far more than just the field, and his fighting ability should not be underestimated. This guy's innate ability is a subspace talent. It shouldn't be. In our starry sky, including several other bordering places, there are no creatures with subspace talents, let alone star level. I don't know. Never heard of it? What? It's actually a subspace talent. Isn't this the legendary talent that is most suitable for escaping and rushing? It seems that this battle will not be easy. The users of the violent wind and rain domain on the other side also complained for a while. You must know that even if they have been prepared, this elementary star creature that can kill the white monkey is not so easy to deal with, but they still never thought that it would be so difficult to deal with. Having subspace talent means that Jia Yan can escape if he can't be beaten. Without effective means to stop them, they have nothing to do to stop him. It would be okay if he didn't have a domain. We are close and use the power of the domain to suppress the space. But now he has a domain. When we are close, he can use the domain to resist our domain. Even if he cannot resist for a long time, it is still impossible. How can we fight this battle if we prevent him from entering the subspace? The two stars looked at each other and instantly felt the helplessness in each other's eyes. And I've also heard that this time the creatures in the space domain are suitable for pursuit, because they are much faster than ordinary creatures in the subspace. Unless they enter the battleship and escape, they will not be able to escape pursuit. The two star-level creatures tried again, but there was still no way to pursue Jia Yan's shadow. Their hearts suddenly became more solemn. It looks like we can't catch him. If we want to deal with such a creature, we have to plan carefully, otherwise we won't be able to fight at all. The star-level creatures in the Golden Realm are almost helpless. Creatures with subspace talents give every strong person a headache. Although I heard that in some places, there is a kind of creature that specializes in subspace talents, but they do not have that kind of strength, and because there are not many subspace talents around here, so they have no effective countermeasures. Seeing that the enemy's strength may not even be able to deal with any of them, but it still makes them dizzy, the two stars wisely fell silent. Assassin, come out. Your strength has been recognized by us. The creature that mastered the storm domain said coldly to the surrounding space. But Jia Yan did not appear. Humph, assassin, don't you think you are powerful? Why don't you dare to show up? Don't worry, we won't attack you anymore, because we know we can't hurt you at all. The person in the Golden Realm seemed not to agree with Jia Yan's strength, and his words were cold. Of course, as a star-level peak existence, how could he agree that two powerful men could not do anything to a first-level star-level creature? He simply didn't know that Jia Yan still didn't use all his methods now. He just judged that even if he used his full strength, he might not be able to leave one of the two star-level ones behind. He risked exposing his strength for no reason. He was unwilling to take the risk, otherwise, it would be a situation where Jia Yan escaped and they pursued him. After hearing this golden creature say this, the space not far away from them was distorted. Jia Yan slowly walked out of the subspace. His dark eyes were flashing with strange luster. The two stars thought that Jia Yan was familiar with using domain power, but what they didn't know was that this was the first time Jia Yan used domain power in battle. I still have too little time now. If you give me a few more days to study the power of the field clearly, maybe these two guys can stay forever. In Jia Yan's eyes, wisps of dangerous light were flashing continuously. And this light was quickly noticed by the two stars on the other side, but their expressions changed slightly and they didn't pursue anything. Assassin, we don't have many disputes between us. The white monkey you killed was only a peripheral member of our alliance. Now, your strength has been recognized by both of us. If you are willing, we invite you join our alliance and attack and defend each other. You have to know that in this stellar battlefield, it is difficult for a single star level to develop rapidly. Creatures in the Golden Realm put away their own realm energy instantly. After all, the realm is a huge drain on the primary level and even intermediate level creatures of the star, and it is impossible to sustain it for a long time. The creatures in the storm domain on the other side also collected their own domain. Of these two guys, the former is a golden giant turtle that looks like it has been magnified countless times, and the other looks like a lizard, both of which are extremely huge. Will you join you? How do I know that you are not pursuing me anymore? Besides, if I join you, I will have to fulfill my obligations. I'm sorry, I can't join. Jia Yan shook his head lightly. If he formed an alliance with two creatures who wanted to kill him in an instant, no matter how he thought about it, he would be fooling his head. You don't have to rush to refuse. Let's do this. We will give you 3 years. After 3 years, you will be familiar with the situation in this area, and you will probably be willing to join us. By then, both parties will win. What do you think? The golden giant turtle's rejection of Jia Yan was not surprising. After all, it would have been impossible for him to agree. After all, he had just had a fight with someone and just said that he agreed to join forces. It was definitely not sincere. Well, let's say goodbye first. You can give us the news after you figure it out. The 2-star level creatures said this to Jia Yan calmly, then turned around and entered the battleship, leaving without looking back. Jia Yan stood motionless and proud in the starry sky for a long time. It was not until the battleships of the 2-star level creatures were far away from the place that he snorted coldly. These two guys are very scheming. They are obviously worried that I will use my talents to hunt them down. What kind of joining? It's all nonsense. Please remember the first domain name of this book. VIP Chinese. Mobile version reading website. Reborn as an interstellar giant mosquito. Author, Bulletin U. Chapter 1313. Watching the 2 stars leave, Jia Yan shook his head. It's not that he doesn't want to chase them, it's just that now he knows that he is not strong enough to chase these 2 guys to death, so he simply gave up on this method. As a star, each one has its own trump card, and just like the ideas of other stars, Jia Yan's own strength is not deep among the stars, so even if he now occupies a little advantages, but still can't be reckless. The strength of this Western alliance is beyond my expectation. After fighting against those 2-star level creatures, Jia Yan's attitude towards the so-called Zitong alliance was completely different. In this stellar battlefield, the stellar level is the king, and among them, the creatures in the mid-stellar level are the most powerful, but their number is too small, followed by the creatures at the primary level of the star. Almost all of them are capable of sitting in command. One side. In the Zitong alliance, what I see now are 2 biological experts at the pinnacle of stars, and I don't know how many others there are. If such strength were to attack in a large scale, even I would have to avoid the edge for the time being. Jia Yan was silent for a while, then shook his head and smiled. However, it is definitely unrealistic for such an alliance to take large-scale actions against one person. They must also have their own main enemies. It is absolutely unacceptable for them to go all out for a creature like me that does not have much conflict of interest and is also troublesome. Possible. As a strong creature, Jia Yan certainly knows that his judgment is correct. Even if the other party has any reason to come to the Helong Galaxy, he will never directly engage in a head-on battle with him. What's more, after these 2 star classes return, it would be said that Jia Yan's talent is a subspace talent. This kind of talent is slippery in fighting and extremely difficult to catch when escaping. The opponent will definitely think more before deciding whether to start a war with Jia Yan, right? After Jia Yan thought for a while, he decided to wait and see what would happen. Just as he thought, even if someone from the Zitong alliance really came, it would not be too late for him to escape. Master Assassin is mighty. He defeated 2 junior masters of the Zitong alliance by himself. When Jia Yan retreated to the vicinity of the Helong star, the warship with the pig monster caught up almost immediately and flattered Jia Yan. You two, father and son, have done a great job this time. Let's do this. In the future, your son will be your deputy, but he will have to do his best for me. Do you understand? Jia Yan glanced at the battleship and said calmly to the creatures inside. Thank you for your love, sir. Immediately, the battleship responded with a surprised response from the 2 pig monsters. Jia Yan can be regarded as a person who has controlled several forces. Although the time of each control is not long, he still has some experience in managing people, so at this time, he puts down the empty talk, which makes 2 people happy. The pig monsters were all pleasantly surprised. But when they look back and think about it, they will find that Jia Yan has actually handed over the power to the pig monster himself and given his son a name. In fact, if you look closely, there is no change from before. Of course, there are many benefits to being recognized by Jiayan, which cannot be denied. Okay, I still have some things to do in the White Galaxy, so I'll go back first. You guys can help me run the Helong Galaxy well, and collect the resources I need carefully. Understood, my lord. The two pig monsters were not surprised at all by Jiayan's departure, because Jiayan had already told them so. Jiayan looked at some of the account books or important matters in the Helong Galaxy. After giving instructions, he entered the subspace and hurried towards the White Star. Although it is only a voyage of a few light years across the universe in the physical body, it is probably unimaginable from the perspective of other creatures. Even to Jiayan, it was almost a myth. But now he can actually do it relying on his own strength. Well, even though it is so powerful, why do you think it is completely different from what you imagined in the Earth era? In the subspace, Jiayan entered deeply into the subspace depth of about 9 degrees. The speed here is faster. Measured by the distance from the outside world, this speed has exceeded the speed of light. The real body quickly flew back, and on the White Star side, Jiayan's clone was already vaguely visible. Some large forces, through the garrison star on the border, knew that he was the red man next to the Lord Assassin, this person's identity. At this moment, some unwelcome faces around Jiayan's clone disappeared in an instant. But only one remains. That is the girl from the so-called elf clan, Fuya. This woman still doesn't know Jiayan's identity. She only knows that the survival of her family may depend on Jiayan's thoughts, so she squats every day, waiting for Jiayan to appear. So all the students in the entire Fifth Star University were surprised to find that the freshman beauty of their university, Fuya, a beauty from the rich elven clan, seemed to be chasing after that Jiayan. Jiayan, are you going to eat in the cafeteria today? The big black bird walked beside Jiayan, arrogantly. For this big black bird, having Jiayan as a friend is a real win. It turned out that it was just a chance encounter on the road, but I didn't expect that the creature I met by chance turned out to be an existence that looked extremely mysterious. On the surface, his strength seems to be at the Earth level, but in fact, the entire academy is secretly spreading rumors that Jiayan is likely to exceed the Earth level, and may even reach the starry sky level. Having such a thigh in his arms must be an unimaginable benefit to Big Bird. So he almost became a tyrant, and all seniors in every school showed respect to him. Well, let's go to the cafeteria to eat today. Jiayan's clone, walking beside him, nodded helplessly. This friend of the big black bird is a burden to Jiayan, but he is also a good mouthpiece. He had passed some words to others through this big bird classmate. Ordinary students don't know the true identity of the clone, but some large families already know. Seeing him is like seeing the Lord Assassin himself. I don't say this for nothing. No matter what the clone said, others would definitely follow it first. Big Bird boasted for a while next to Jiayan, and then turned his eyes behind him. After seeing a pretty shadow, his eyes widened again, and his hair suddenly became furious. Hey, this person behind you, get out of here quickly. Mr. Jiayan is nowhere near you, so get away. Looking at the back of the woman following them, the big black bird felt wary. He always thought that he was the only proud subordinate who could follow Jiayan, but now there is a creature that starts to follow him shamelessly, definitely trying to usurp his position. I don't want to get close to a bastard like him. You are not a good person if you rely on others' power. When the figure behind the big bird shouted, he was startled, his face instantly turned red, and he quickly cursed back. She has long pointed ears and a domineering look. However, his face and figure are extremely good. Even on Earth, he would definitely be at the level of a big star. This is the woman from the elf tribe who is following Jiayan. Although she still seems to have a bad attitude towards Jiayan, she does not dare to make a move. In fact, what she is doing now is entirely her own initiative. Her family has already given her a verbal warning not to get close to the mysterious Jia Yan, but she understood it wrong. Okay, if you dare to call Jia Yan a bastard, you're dead. After hearing what the elf woman said, the big black bird felt happy, feeling that he had finally found a handle on this woman. He quickly looked at Jia Yan. Although he didn't know why Jia Yan was so powerful, he knew that as long as the current Jia Yan said a word, he didn't know whether there would be problems with the family behind this elf woman, but he didn't know. This woman is definitely in trouble. Because he had seen with his own eyes that a dignified Starry Sky level senior was declared dead the next day after saying a few bad words to Jia Yan some time ago, and the mysterious master of the Starry Sky level creature's family, he even came to apologize personally. The elf woman's face changed wildly. She hated herself for not holding back and actually scolding Jia Yan. Forget it, just take your time and play. Jia Yan looked at the two little tails, shook his head helplessly, and walked towards the dormitory. The battle on the real body is over. He can also focus more on this body. For him, this is the best time to find out the voices of the white people. The white star is more important to me than the Helong galaxy, because there are a lot of starry sky ghost resources here. If I don't need this galaxy one day, I will definitely destroy the starry sky ghost's nest. Jia Yan thought of this faintly in his mind as he walked. The role of the starry sky ghost has been completely witnessed to him, especially its ability to repair the body. It is almost like a bug to Jia Yan, and because he is an evolved beast, there is a certain limit to the use of ghost blood by other creatures. However, for Jia Yan, as long as his body can digest it, there is no limit on the quantity. Even if all the ghost blood in a nest is swallowed up in one day, there is no possibility of backlash. Therefore, this ghost blood is an extremely important resource for Jia Yan. It is normal for him to return to the white star. Jia Yan, alas. The big black bird was behind Jia Yan. Seeing that Jia Yan didn't pursue the elf woman's feelings at all, he immediately followed him out of interest. The charming elf woman also spat, bit her red lips, followed her with a light step. The family has said that Jia Yan is very capable. The recent events in the family must be related to him. Maybe he is causing trouble, I must do something. Thanks to the book friends who gave tips, thank you. By the way, this book Wild Escape Female Anchor was also written by Buletin Yu. Please support it. I didn't dare to say it when I recommended it last time, but now it's 10 chapters, and I'm about to sign a contract, so I dare to say it. Everyone please bookmark and recommend it, thank you. Please remember the first domain name of this book. VIP Chinese. Mobile version reading website.